Good morning, everybody. Hey, hey, hey! Alright. We have not missed anything. I haven't even got my breakfast yet. Our base. There is a Civ Pool draft now. Oh, like an AoE 2CM? Oh ho ho, the fanciness. Tim Vanderloop with the 7-stream streak. When the Wolf cosplay? I'm not T-West, I don't cosplay. Stream so early? I don't know, man. When am I supposed to work? Which one's escargot? Bengalis, Burmese, Malay, Wei, Wu. What makes that so great? I mean, you know, a bunch of good civs, for sure, but... And now the Corgi wants out. Think not so great? Alright. Get these maps down. I'm gonna start with Canal Clash, which looks a lot like a map that I've seen before from Danger Duck. Oh man, my right index finger hurts. I had a hangnail there. And now I think it's like all inflamed, and I need my right finger, man. My right index finger. Yeah, that's what I thought. Wasn't it like Tres Leches or something? I studied this deeply. Well, I haven't studied it at all. I'm not gonna pretend otherwise. Oh, yes. Chinese, Japanese, Jurchens, Khitans, Koreans. Yeah, the part of the world I study, the East Asian civs. All this commentating is participating when I find the time to grind my way to 2K8. I think just a little bit more time and I'll get there. Unfortunately, I'm not too sure how this is very helpful. Because unless the viewers know what the Civ pools are, my elo, I'm like 1900s. Oh, yeah, here, let me show you guys. These are the Civ pools. I'm just trying to think of a way to show this to viewers. So basically, they pick the Civ pools for each other. You get 2 Civ pools, so 10 Civs, which is a lot, obviously, for a best of 5. So, like, Barl's has avocado and honey. Add to the overlay? That would look really ugly. Hmm. Show the map and Civ icon around it? What do you mean? Cool. That wouldn't be a bad idea if there's like a specific place to get the exclusively the Civ pool. Look for it? Sure, I'd appreciate that.
I humbly request you entertain me while I make and eat food, my good sir.
Well, I will do my best, Full Metal Zim. Has Panino? No idea. I don't even know what a panino is. I know what a panini is. Is that the same thing? Pressed sandwich? A pressed sandwich, not an oppressed sandwich. The proletariat sandwich is not rising up. Nothing showed up. Such is life. We'll have to just figure this out over time. Well, oppressing anything is fun. Anyway, we've gotten into game number 1, and in a minute 35, with the spec delay, we shall get in there. So we have 2 sets today. Obviously this one, Barls versus Andy. Backwards. And the other one I think is Sebastian versus Vivi. That one's scheduled to start in... Oh, wait. Oh, Yo versus Capoch is today. That one's scheduled to start in 2 hours. Hopefully they'll just wait until the end of this series. Ah, okay. Thank you, why don't you say hi? Adcom... Rules. Alright. I'll put it in the stream title. Alright, let me set up the overlay. Barls and Andy face each other what feels like all the time, and they're pretty even. This should be a very good set. Looks like the moment was needed, but we are back. Yes, this is the same map that I remember. It will be freaking Andy here in the orange as the Georgians to the southwest. One might even call them the Georgians. Oh. How did that happen? Barles is going to be here in the blue as the Armenians to the south-ish. Okay, so you still have the markets. Oh, hey, it doesn't crash capture age anymore. Oh, yeah, that's because I had it on Borderlands volume. Doobity-doobity-doop. There you go. Yeah, I had it the game volume from when I was playing Borderlands yesterday. So you still have the trade cart you start with. And it looks like, I mean, all of your villagers start together, so although it is a nomad start, the whole actually being a nomad start aspect of it isn't super relevant. But yes, we do have the 2 Mountain Royal civs. Oh, you know what this water reminds me of, guys? Remember the Windows Vista issue with AOC? When, like, the grass and the water would have that weird graphical bug with them? That is exactly what this looks like. That is 1000% what this is. Is there an official cast of these sets? Me. I'm the official cast. I have no idea. Anyway, we already have 2 fishing ships out here for Andy, of course leveraging the free mule cart as Georgians. You can just spend that early wood on the dock. There is one for the finals. Ah. Still, Armenians should be a bit of a smoother civ to play overall, especially throughout like early to mid game. Like, Georgians are super good, especially as the game goes on, but in a close rush distance map like this, it does feel like Armenians are the better feudal age civ, and probably early castle age civ as well. Glad someone is W. What do you mean? Alright. 4 fishing ships here. Oh, well, yes, I appreciate that, Evelson. Yeah, so we've seen this in 2v2 and is win. Oh, is that what the kids do? Not the trade cart! Very sad. Honestly, having a trade cart's nice. Remember, there are neutral markets on the map, so Barles is just going to be able to trade once he gets a market up in the feudal age. But yeah, this map was actually played in a 3v3 tournament last year. Also, there are Komodo Dragon Mountains. Yeah, the terrains look pretty weird. The land terrain, I'm pretty sure, is the new No, it's not even the new pasture terrain. I think that this is desert terrain with grass overlaid on it. Your Z-speak. I mean, I am technically on the border of Gen Z and millennials. I am a zillennial through and through. I'm a boomer. Actually, that's correct. I'm just a boomer in zillennial clothing. The winner of this series will move on to the next round to face Sora Kuma, as Hera had to forfeit. 1997 onwards? I mean, it's that's basically the transition period, and I'm born in 1997. But my school year was 97 through 96, so Again, it depends on how you do the cutoff. However you cut it, I'm basically at the border line. Anyway, Men-at-Arm Rush here from Barles is doing a big fat nothing at the moment, as we did have these early walls here from Andy, and the dock does count as part of the wall here. Longswords rush indeed. Why get arson when you can get longswordsman, man? I mean, it does give you an extra 4 attack versus buildings. Of course, the skirmisher is out, and as all AoE balance should be, guys, one skirmisher scaring away the swordsman, but that is a hole in the wall. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. One long swordsman went down, but there are still 2 of these bad boys over here gonna be harassing those villagers. Hello, Mr. Skov. Alright. That was probably worthwhile there for Barles, just so we could dive in and get some damage done. Meanwhile, there is another dock coming up here in the middle of the map for Andy. 1 fire galley at home. There are 2 more fishing ships, remember, for Andy as well. So he's ahead by 3 vills still, even after losing 1. Yep. Also, Barles lost a vill to Gaia somehow. Sexually explicit. Oh my god. Where monks are disabled. What, you mean ruining AoE? Oh, yeah, the trade cart. But does that count as eco KD loss? I really don't know. It's not like we see trade carts in 1v1s to get a good, good idea there. Anyway, the longswordsmen are running around. This is a hefty investment here from Barles that probably still has yet to pay for itself. There is another longswordsman that was made, and now the archer follow-up is coming in. Going to be able to pepper the villagers there who are trying to go for the rewalling attempts. And that's a dead longswordsman as it runs under the TC. I mean, it's not going to be a very good trade route with the market right there, but I guess you can use your trade cart there to generate a little bit of gold. Yes, there is no armor there on the swordsman. And Andy is much, much closer to Castle Age again. 5 fishing ships is a very nice thing to have. That tuna's about to run out as well, so you're going to have to sail a little bit further away to get the fish as well. I guess if you take the gold... Wait. This trade cart, it looks like it has gold in it, but I don't see any gold on the trade cart. Anyway, Castle Age is on the way here for Andy, off to a very good start in this game number 1. He's defended against the longswordsman. He has a better economy. You can see he's ahead by around 400 resources. He is up on his merry way to the Castle Age. See how much gold is getting dropped off. Okay, so that did drop off like 60 gold or so. Oh, longswordsman there is still running around. Yes, Barles is about to click up, but he is just behind in most aspects compared to freaking Andy, who is now adding in even more fishing ships. And this is the hybrid map aspect coming at you hard. Yeah, I mean, this map always had neutral markets on it. An algae bloom? Yes. I mean, if one person just has that significant advantage in the fishing ship numbers, it's going to be almost impossible for Barles to win. He's going to need to do something about it. And Georgians are a really tough civ to push on land. I mean, both of these civs are very tough to push on the land because of the fortified churches and good monks. And there's a stable coming in for Barles. Andy is actually going to be the one who's looking to come forward himself. As Scott stopped his own skirmisher production, is likely going to be focusing in on the cavalry at this point. Even the fire galley there is able to shoo away the trade cart. And here comes the first fortified church for freaking Andy. What? Pacific Islands of this map? Oh, yes. The water with the elevation and also the mountain sticking out of it. Alright, 6 seconds to Castle Age, but we already have a knight, a cav archer, and a monk all coming in, a siege workshop too. Andy is ready to go to town. Barles will immediately throw down a second town center. I mean, Barles is throwing down a second TC, but Andy's ready to throw down in general. As this army is going to get very strong very quickly. Defensive fortified church coming in for Barles. And even if... Okay, that's kind of a weird TC location. I guess to help protect the villagers from a counterattack? Oh, this is cute. This is exactly what you need to do for as Barles if you want to make a comeback in this game. You need to go after the fishing ships. Because right now, they're just giving Andy way too significant of an advantage. Alright, that'd be pretty good. Not against other fire ships, though. In Fire v Fire, elevation doesn't matter. Alright, a monk is on the way, but this is still going to be a tricky defense to pull off. And especially since you're still just focusing on the light cav. But the villager count is being evened up quite a bit. Got some extra farms coming in. And the first monk is out, but I mean, it's going to be a while before you can even start to think about Sanctity and Redemption, and those buildings are not going to last forever. Random swordsman still running around. Guess a lot of like cows and stuff were taken over here. Warrior priest is out. You can start picking up those relics. But this is going to be tricky. You already have the monks in here for Andy, so a couple of knights are not going to be able to take down those mangonels. They'll just get converted. And ballistics even coming in as Andy is going to be focusing more on the cav archers. Because Georgians are definitely a cav archer civ. Wheelbarrow coming in. There is a monk. Gonna shoo away those cav archers at least for the time being. And there's another one. But this is still such a tough hold. Barles actually does take the score lead there for a second as he is really trying to fight his way back here on the water. And he's still just adding in even more fishing ships though. And that is just the luxury you have when you win water. Yeah, I mean, they were looking at 2 CA civs here. I mean, that TC is getting eaten real fast, guys. Remember, these mangonels are attacking from the high ground. They are doing plenty of damage. And that army value is almost triple here for our orange player, Andy. Okay, a couple light cav coming in, and here comes the fortified church rush. The light cav are going to be going right after the monks. And, oh, Insta! Okay, there's the defensive mangonel out. Gonna go after those villagers. There's the converted light cav, which is being a bit annoying. That mangonel should maybe be able to get the kill. Oh, beautiful micro from Barles. If that fight hadn't gone perfectly, he'd literally be dead right now. Oh my goodness. Can he survive one more for the road? Beautiful hit. Oh my goodness. Now, don't get me wrong. Barles is still in a bad way, but I mean, that went from literal game losing to you have a chance. Redemption coming in here as well. Yeah, that was like the Hail Mary buzzer beater shot right there just as the mangonel died. Still, cav archers are here. The eco is still better for Andy, who's back up to 8 fishing ships. Nevertheless, with Redemption in just a moment, it's going to be much more difficult to push. But that eco is really, really rough right now here for Barles. Oh, the CAR here. They're going to pressure the monks into the TC. Still, it's going to be difficult to prevent the monks from getting a conversion completely. Cav archers are here applying more damage. The Cav archers do have ballistics. Fortified church is still being made, and yeah, as soon as the monks leave the shelter of the TC or a fortified church, it is right back here with the pressure. There just is no space for Barles to work with. He's got no gold income. It is pretty rough. You see monks? Well, there's a difference between seeing any amount of monks at all, which is in most games, because monks are very good without any upgrades, versus do we see players invest heavily into monks, which is not something we see all the time. I mean, we see it occasionally, if the Civ matchup situation. Yeah, it seems pretty cooked here for Barles. I mean, a TC, I love trying to sneak out with the TC to the other side of the map, but you just don't have the time. Andy has a stranglehold on your base right now. Yeah, I mean, the monk defense was the only thing that Barles could do there. Monks are just a great defensive unit. I mean, again, you're buying time, but all of these small victories don't really matter if Andy continues to just steamroll ahead with his economy, with his army. And there's just a limit to how good this can possibly be. Getting some extra relics over there is, again, it's nice, but tough situation here for Barles in game number 1. Where is the stone on this map? There's some over there. Andy's obviously taking some over there. It's, you know, scattered around. I mean, those fortified churches are so freaking good, man. And there's the castle. That could easily be the impetus there for the GG. And indeed it is, as game number 1 in this best of 5 will be going to freaking Andy. And really, this is just the classic hybrid map. You snowball the early water control, your eco's a lot better, you get a better castle each time, you're able to apply pressure. And get the dub. Well done from Andy. I just think it is foolish to not really focus on water early on here. Staying alive, heat death of the universe? Yeah, basically. Alright, so that was game number 1 going to Andy. Now we have Pez Panino, Hudam, Maurfell, and Arabia. Oops. And they're going to go to the one map I do know at the very least. Minute 25. Kinda cringe. I mean, aren't they all specifically Berlin related? A Tandoori map, rip. The December land at the end? I have no idea. Is there a LAN in December? I mean, I imagine Gamer Legion's doing another LAN event. But Obviously, I am not in the know. The fall of the Berlin Wall. Ah, interesting. But yeah, maybe they will announce it. As we hear the lovely bagpipes of the Celts, we are here in game number 2. It will feature Andy in the orange as the Celts to the southwest of Arabia, winning game number 1. And here to the east in the blue as the Aztecs, it will be Barles. We got a classic AOC Civ matchup on our hands. Classic map. Let's see how this one goes. Taking a quick look at things here, gold is in a really good spot here for Barles. That wood line goes to the edge of the map, so you can wall like this area very easily. Forge bushes are a little bit exposed, and of course the front of your map is super, super open, including your stones. But as far as things go, it's a nice little area to defend early on. On the flip side, this map is very open here for Andy. I mean, he's only got like one wood line. And I don't remember Arabia back in the day having tiny wood lines that were so far away from the TC, man. It just doesn't seem right. Where's my chunky Arabia wood lines? Alright, so 3 on wood here, 3 on wood here. It's kind of interesting because neither of these civs are sort of current Arabia powerhouse civs. I mean, Aztecs used to literally be the best Arabia civ, but there have been several balance patches and a lot of new OP civs added. Celts like were a perennial A-tier Arabia civ because you did have that strong early aggressive potential and the good siege push as well. These days, it's a little bit hard to rate both of these civs because neither do skirms or cav archers well. Yeah, this is GL Arabia V2. I don't know what specific things in the map script they did differently. You will have to see. Yeah, you can always just check in the bottom right-hand corner. If it just says Arabia, then it's the DE version. But as far as this matchup goes, I mean, I think it's perfectly fine. Should see a lot of infantry here. Because they have C8. I see no flaw in that logic. A little bit of idle time. In fact, Andy wanted to click up on 19, but realizes that he doesn't quite have the resources, so he will be clicking up on 20. And we already have a mining camp out here, so this is going to be likely for some fast archers here from Barles. Look at these little walls early on. Again, Barles has a very defensive area here, or defendable. Probably anticipating some kind of Drush or Men-at-Arms play from Andy, which seems pretty likely. Nope, Feudal Age is just on the way, and indeed, the militia have been queued up here for our orange player. Where is Vaipur? Probably at home, if I had to guess. He's not really the going out sort. No, he's in this tournament. He's already in the round of 8. Alright, barracks coming in. And like I said, it's going to be that straight archer play to help defend against a predicted Men-at-Arm opening or a Drush. Note that Barles hasn't scouted it at all. Like, he is just 100% blindly preparing for an early Men-at-Arm attack. Yeah, Sora Kuma beat Hera by showing up. Well, they do say that availability is the best ability. I don't know. I would like to point out that I am not Viper, nor am I his manager. And therefore am unlikely to know exactly what his streaming schedule is. Alright, men-at-arms are showing up here to the party. Not so strong? Celts can be strong. Nothing wrong with Celts. Did I get fired? I was never his manager, man. What's Viper's favorite food? Based off of the time I've spent with Viper, Indian food. Whenever I was staying with him, it was always Indian food, man. Alright, double bit-axe is in for both players, and those archers in a very good defensive spot. You can see that just as the last sheep, or sheep equivalents, are running out, Barrel's able to scooch on over to his forage bushes. It's going to really help his food income transition. And this is a really good start here for Barrels. My animation was out of sync. Oh, it was very, very obvious with things like spearmen and battering rams. You know, well, isn't it you can pick the civs that your opponent drafts for you? I don't think they literally pick their opponent's civs in each game. Anyway, the skirms are here. Men-at-arms gonna smack those vills a bit. Still, more pressure coming out here from Andy. We have 3 Eagle Scouts, and they're kind of, sort of hanging around for a counterattack, but right now you need something that kills skirmishers, which doesn't exist because skirmishers hard counter every unit in AoE 2. Top 3 food? I mean, there is no one correct answer. Like, my personal top 3 would probably be Italian, Thai, Mexican. That's just my personal pick. Alright. Ooh, Archer's gonna try and snag a men-at-arm there that was a little bit too far forward. Indian, like, again, those are all very valid choices. I also love Indian food, and I love Chinese food. Anyway, as things stand, Andy's lost a couple of units, and once again, the initial aggressor hasn't really panned out. Let's see here. I mean, Andy is trying to make a bit of a transition. He still has a few men-at-arms on the field. And this is certainly a longswords matchup. I would be extremely disappointed if Andy goes for Knights and Castle Age. Celt swordsmen are going to be a very good tool against Eagle warriors, and they're much better against those ranged units because of the faster movement speed. Andy will go, Knights, don't ruin my hopes and dreams, boom. I mean, literally both of these civs could go longswords against each other. It is a thing that is possible. But as you're trying to expand the walls a little bit over here, units are looping around, but the skirmishers are actually buying a bit of time, and of course, you are not all-knowing here as Andy, so he does not know that it is not full-walled yet, as both players are knocking at the door of the other. Go Jags. Well, Barles has already sold his stone, so he is looking for a quicker Castle Age time. Also, I better see Woad Raider plus Siege against Jaguar plus Monk plus Siege. That is the only acceptable unit composition matchup I will tolerate from either of these players. A little bit of a snag there. Fletching is in for both players. And the men-at-arms are knocking down the house. You could literally say the men-at-arms are bringing down the house. Woo, woo, woo. You know what party people those men-at-arms are. At least I think that's what that means. Again, I am very hip and happening. Anyway, Castle Age is indeed faster for Barles, who did sell his stone. Andy going to be up just a little bit later. If you look at the resources collected, Barles, who had the more passive opening to begin with, is going to be slightly ahead. I mean, I do think Celt Eco is a bit stronger than Aztec Eco, especially these days, but, I mean, obviously both civs have good, solid, all-around economies. These civs have good but balanced ecos. None of this Roman eco, Khmer eco, Burgundian eco nonsense. It's more common to skip horse color. I would absolutely say that's the case, and in fact, Hera was one of the people who really started that trend a few years ago. It's because the meta has evolved to be, one, the uptimes are faster, so you just can't afford horse collar most of the time, because you're clicking up, you know, 1920 population instead of 21 to 22. And the other reason is that everything is just so much more timing-based, right? You want to get to Castle Age as soon as possible, because hitting that strong timing can just immediately win you the game. Anyway, Barles is, of course, recognizing that the best unit in AoE 2 is the Skirmisher, so he's going 2 ranges of those. Andy. Guys, I need to have a talk with Andy. Sometimes you just have to take a pro player and sit them down and say, you know what's good against both longswordsmen and, or what's good against skirmishers and eagles? It's the longswordsman. Yes, the farms are very nice. All right, Castle Age is in. The eagles are, of course, immediately going to get an attack boost. Skirmisher upgrades coming in here as well. Well, a monastery behind this at home, although I think he is actually full walled in. Oh, so he needs to forage his way to getting out of his base. All right, Celt Siege Workshop coming in here as well. Now, I don't think Arson is in. It is not. Remember, Eagles don't actually have bonus damage versus buildings other than what they could get from Arson. So they're not really the best anti-building infantry unit. All right, first knight is out. Scorpions are on the way, too. Well, the Eagles are likely going to have to retreat now. And he still has only lost 1 Vil, though. Does need to replace that lumber camp. Now remember, Andy did not sell his stone, so he, once he gets 275 wood, will be able to plop down a TC, no problem. Barles is just going to buy back the stone, and this is why we see a lot more market manipulation these days. You sell the stone to rush up to Castle Age, and then you just buy back the stone to add in another town center. And that's exactly what Barles is doing. Notably, Barles, with that second TC, does not secure another gold or stone. Aztec's super gold-hungry civilization. And Barles will still need to push out for some more map control eventually. That said, these knights coming in and around will make that a bit more difficult of a prospect. Hello, Eustreptospondylus. I tried. I really did try. Anyway, more Eagle Warrior upgrades coming in. Second TC here for Andy. This is a sad TC, holy cow. It's this slight elevation, I think, here on the stone that makes him incapable of placing it right next to the stone. That's pretty sad. Now, Woad Raiders are really, really good against Eagles, and they're just very good in general. They've gotten so many mid-game buffs. Back in my day, Woad Raiders only had 65 HP in the Castle Age and 8 attack. But I'm old. Alright, Eagles looking to do some raiding. Looking to not do some raiding. He's the TC there. And here's the third TC from Barles on the stone. University coming in. So is thinking of getting ballistics. Okay. Look at this. 2 monks here. Already getting the second relic at home for Aztecs. That's always a nice win. Grandpa, time for bed. Yep. Oh, look at this. Walling behind the TC so the Eagles can't run through. That's cute. Eco balance isn't very good for Andy, though. He has way too many on gold. But third TC is in, and look at this. 19 vills on stone. Holy cow. Homie wants to get those Woad Raiders going. Yeah, he's building the third TC on the stone. He's going to secure that secondary gold over there, which is super important. You can see he's already starting to wall up on the side. Neither player really wanting to take things aggressive in mid-game, but Barles is going to be pretty happy about this because he is developing all of these relics. He still has map control. Andy is going to be happy because once this castle is down, the Woad Raiders are going to come out, and they're going to be good against everything that Barles is doing right now. So, Sean, the rule of thumb for infantry unique units is that they have 2 bonus damage against eagles. And Woads, I'm pretty sure, are no exception. Now, if you compare it to swordsmen, they have 4 bonus damage in Castle Age. So they get more bonus damage, but Woads actually have a higher base attack now, so it's kind of a moot point. And let me tell you, I am not one to throw the word moot around unless I need to, which is an absolute lie. I love the word moot. Look at this. Relic number 4 coming in here from Barles. Also, remember, we have 2 sets today. We also have Yo versus Capoch. So we got lots of fun AoE happening. You won't have to suffer through me playing Borderlands again. Anyway, 14 vills for Barles now on the stone as well. To late Castle Age? It happens. It happens. You know, Redemption is in on the monks, Sanctity's in, Fervor's going to be here in a second as well. And this is going to really be the most important determining factor, most likely, in this game, is that both players have such strong siege, or, I mean, they do have strong siege, but strong infantry, that the Celt siege versus the Aztec monks are likely going to be a deciding factor. Yep, 2 bonus damage versus eagles, like I thought. All right, Castle coming forward here from Barles. He's not even that far away from the Imperial Age. Oh, yeah, it is +6, my bad. Having to delete the barracks right there. Devotion coming in as well. Moot. All right, there is Imperial Age for Barles. Maybe I'll have time to get some breakfast after this. This is Ornlu casting without any breakfast or coffee. They just rolled out of bed and started casting. It sure is. I mean, Barles has been doing a better job of developing his eco in the first place. Andy did secure 1 relic, but Aztecs with 4 relics is pretty darn scary. Now the Aztec Woad Raiders are coming in. Finishing the walls. He has not finished the walls. He is trying to dictate the pace of this game. Whoa there, buckaroo. Note that both of the neutral golds happen to spawn over here. What you doing there? Anyway, here they are, the almighty Jaguar Warriors. These are fun civs with fun units, man. Here they go. Look at these bad boys. Still not in as great numbers, though, as the Woad Raiders, and Scorpions are trying to not get converted. And look at this! Andy just gonna drop his castles on his opponent. Oh my goodness, here we go. You're gonna have to scooch a little bit to the side, but he can do that. Oh, but you can't be indecisive. That's the last thing you can do. We got some more eagles coming in. They are going to be doing a great job of sniping the Scorpions. And now you're going to try to rush up a castle over there, but Barles is in absolute control of this game number 2. As Imp is going to be here in just a moment, and I mean, Andy might even resign at this point. Like, what is he going to do? Nope, going to fight on. Teacher Workshop coming in. There's castle number 3 for Barles, just sort of daisy chaining them across the middle of the map here. Got Trebs on the way. You can have some Eagle Warriors to help snipe the Scorpions. You can have some Monks that help in that regard as well. And then, of course, that the Jaguar Warrior is just going to be your amazing frontline unit. Yeah, I do kind of miss, though, that Jags used to be, like, the anti-infantry infantry. Now they're just, like, an insane infantry that is just also good against other infantry. I guess I just wish they were a bit more of the anti-infantry specialist. AI army for Barles. Both players kind of have a bit of an AI army. Anyway, Void Raiders coming in over here to the east. Andy is trying to make this Castle Age push happen. But you got Monks here, you got Jags. The Trebbing is already happening, and it's going to be nigh impossible to keep the castle alive for all that long. This is a nice run around, though. Sudden Death? I should hope so, considering that, you know, he's on 3 TCs. And the Jaguars are honestly not in position. This is not an ineffective raid. Still, even though Andy has a decent enough amount of stone, it's not going to be able to withstand 4 trebuchets. A valiant effort, but not one that is likely destined for long-term success. Obviously, the Jags are going to be amazing at taking down those Rams. Great reaction here from Barles, and he is looking to tie up the series 1-1. Wait, where'd the Jags go? Oh, here they are. Those Obsidian Makanas, man. They hit like a truck. Another castle here at the back for Barles. I mean, Andy actually has a slight build lead at this point. He has done a fair amount of damage, but it's just the overall resources that have been collected up to this point are just so heavily in favor of Barles. Yeah, I mean, it's just, you can't keep these castles alive. And as soon as this push stalls out, it's going to be all ogre. I will say that Andy did do his best to get himself back into this game after the initial failure and the fact that he was just falling further and further behind here at his own base. But like Barles in game number 1, it was just way too far gone at that point. Too good of a player to let a lead like that slip away. And we are all tied up here at 1 apiece. Gotta say it. Love that Aztecs versus Celts matchup, man. Fun stuff, fun stuff. Right, that is Arabia going to Barles. That was his home map. So now we have only weird maps. Maurfall, Kudam, and Pez Panino. Whatever that means. Yeah, I mean, they obviously don't get to pick their pool of civs. Alright, did they start? They are remaking the lobby. During the cookout? I have no idea. Bold of you to assume that I am in the know on anything. Don't know what's up. They're not in the lobby. Hmm. I'm gonna try and take this opportunity then to make some breakfast, guys. I'll be right back. All right. Thank you for your patience. All right, there you go. Ugh. I return. What the heck? Kudam. Yes, I mean, as somebody who was at the early NACs, they did feel they had a great sense of fun to them. Now NAC just feels like another tournament. That's just my personal opinion, though. Also, I'm having my peanut butter oatmeal with a little cinnamon on it. Terrorist rounded up? No, not again. Isn't this just like a super aggressive map? Well, the triple boiler is coming in. We're doing this full BF style. I mean, these are two extremely good BF players. Alrighty, so Barles is going to be in the blue as the Sicilians tied up the series in the previous game, 1-1. And to the southeast in the orange as the Gurjaras, it will be Andy. Alright, interesting matchup and one I kind of like for Sicilians. The units take less bonus damage, which can help mitigate the advantage of Gurjaras. And I think the big thing here is that what do Gurjaras want to do against the sergeant pressure? That's going to be a tough one. Camel Scout is, of course, going to be very strong, though. Hey guys. Want to hear a joke? Want to hear a joke? Why did the chicken cross the road? Because it spawned there. Because that's how AoE map generations work. I'm sorry. It is crossing the road. It's a process. Boom. All right, Don John coming in here. On the Lego, oh no. Hey, woman pleaser. This is the Quintessential Cookout. It's kind of an oddball tournament. It's hosted by Gamer Legion and Danger Duck. The weird thing is, like, the early rounds, I don't think anybody was really casting it. And, like, we had a lot of top players in it. Oh, this is getting messy, guys. Oh, this is getting real messy. That boar is going back. Yeah, of course. No wonder no one's casting it. It's kind of bizarre, but now the sets are live and we're getting later into the tournament, so I think myself and others will likely be casting much more of it. Anyway, les Argents are on the way. All right, double bit axe coming in. Not yet here for Andy, whose wood is actually at the absolute limit right now. Table coming in. How many hybrid maps are there? At least a few. All right, more quick balls coming in. Yeah, like I said, these sergeants are going to be pretty tough to stop. I guess those quick balls will be successful. And less idle TC time here from Andy as well, but now the sergeant's showing up here. Villagers just cannot fight sergeants. It's just a bunch of Gaia buildings.
Namaste.
Yeah, I casted Vinch versus MBL yesterday. Vinch looked pretty good, MBL not so much. Alright, defensive tower is now coming in. Nope. Andy has weathered the storm thus far and is going to be able to pounce on that archer. Nicely done. So is this like a famous street in Berlin or something? All right. And that's going to be a villager kill. Andy off to a very good start here as the sergeants are just getting walled out. I will not be whooped at, Mr. Core. All right, another Vil is going to bite the dust. Andy just cruising here in game number 3. It's all about the quick balls, guys. Ah. So there are 6 relics. Alright, Donjon coming in. We already had the first tower in. But there aren't... I mean, there are 4 sergeants here. I don't think that's enough, but sergeants do have that 2 melee armor. All right. Oh my goodness, Mr. Corgi. Dash did want to clean my bowl. Oh, but again, it's the mobility that the scouts provide. Another villa's gonna die. Granted, that stable is gonna go down. Funnily enough, Barl's actually trapped his scout cavalry. And, I mean, those villagers are super exposed, but that doesn't matter if they're not seen. Why was Berlin split up? Because it was the German capital. So they split it up as like a microcosm of the rest of Germany getting split up between the Soviets and then the British, French, and Americans. But obviously, like the rest of Germany, the British, French, and American sides all just kind of melded together shortly thereafter. Alright, another Donjon is here. Again, yes, you know, you have the 4 villager kills to 0 in favor of Andy, but now Barl's coming in here with a spearman, gonna take down a scout cav. Yes, yes, Mr. Corgi, you can lick the spoon too. I mean, now with that 3 melee armor, that's gonna be pretty tough to stop. That's a lot of sergeants, guys. The villagers. The peasantry. Oh, this is maybe looking a little ugly for Andy. I mean, yes, he is ahead by 7 vills. Oh. Another defensive tower is incoming, but I don't think Andy has a market. Where is he getting the stone? I guess that was just all that long distance mining. Archer's gonna try and camp underneath that tower. The sergeants are still running around. Yes, Andy does have fletching. And that will force Barrels to retreat for now. And in fact, all of those archers dying is actually a huge deal, as Barrels can't really use them to garrison inside the donjon anymore. Hold on, I think our contractor's here. Sorry about that. Alright, looks like both players are getting close to Castle Age. Oh my... Oh, okay, this was discovered over here to the east. Stable number 2 goes down. That's 2 stables destroyed. It's hard being a corgi parent and casting at the same time. All right, Castle Age is on the way for both. That's a lot of units coming in here, though, from Andy. Uh-oh. I mean, still, the villager kill numbers are pretty close. And oh no! It's like shooting fish in a barrel. Chakrams only deal 1 damage, though, to the sergeants. Sergeants have too much melee armor. Like I said, I think this is a good matchup for Sicilians. Yeah, they only get the bonus damage in Imperial Age. My parents' parent? Thankfully, no. Although it feels like it sometimes, but that's a different thing. Yeah, I need crossbowmen or scorpions. Again, you still have a decent resources lead here as Andy, but the sergeants are just running around everywhere. Castle Age is in, the donjons are now stronger, they get an extra arrow. And look at this, now the sergeants as well, again, getting double the armor, essentially, and a ton more HP, and that's gonna be a lot of dead vills here. Oh my goodness. This could be getting really rough for Andy, and like, what's he even gonna do in Castle Age? Cav archers, I guess. Uh-oh. And he's going to be starting to make some scouts? Not too sure why. Oh, the crossbowmen are here. Yeah, I'm not... What are the scouts doing? And he doesn't even have a monastery. Yeah, I guess maybe just because his gold is so limited, but... Gonna get another TC down nice and quick there, of course, as the Sicilians. Those 4 vills are safe. We have the first mangonel coming out. But remember, these donjons are basically like guard towers. I think the Gaia houses are literally indestructible, so there should be no way to kill them, even if you wanted to. Alright, Siege Workshop coming up over here at home as well for Barrels. He's trying to get his own eco sorted out, and he does have superior upgrades in that regard. And now full stone walls here to the side of the map. Archers crossing the road. Now Andy looking to do some counterattack damage. Barles is having a lot of idle eco time. And Andy's actually going to come drop a castle on his opponent's face. Oh my goodness. I don't think there's a whole lot here. There's a mangonel to stop. There's one light cav out, but the repairs are going to come in, and the light cav isn't really going to do a whole lot. I just don't think you have much of a way to prevent this castle from coming down. And indeed, that is going to be here. A lot of farms are being denied. A very good castle. If only the way were in this game. Then we might be seeing Dawei. No, Andy is not on stone. Archers are here to defend at home. You have 6 light cav at this point. Well, the castle's going to help destroy TC and deny like 10 plus farms and the remainder of those forage bushes. And considering Barles is making food units, that's pretty darn good. Hello, Comic. Oh, didn't get the final hit there. 15 villagers killed for Barles. He's ahead by, what, 9? And yet camels, crossbow, and mangonels, it feels like a stronger army for Andy. Oh, nice splat there. Cavalry popping out of the stable at the last moment. Andy's in a good spot. I mean, he is behind in population. He's behind in score. Got a lot of idols now. First relic is in for Barles. Yeah, it's a pretty wild map. Alright, Scorpion number 1 is out. Oh yeah, it's always very sad when Sicilians don't get the farm upgrades. Oh, but the crossbowmen are going to be looking to get some nice damage here. Able to micro right away from the Scorpion. But now the light cav are coming back. They don't really have the best upgrades, though. Second Scorpion is out. Oh, but caught between the arrows of the town center and the bolts of the Scorpion, and all the crossbowmen are dead. Oh, boy. So will translate ever to communicate? Yeah. It's not great. I mean, it's a very even series, which is what I expected between these two. Like I said, they play each other a lot in tournaments, and they're very evenly matched. They're both kind of in that top 12-ish. Maybe. Anyway, that armored elephant isn't going to be able to take down the Donjon. Alright. Gonna get those farms back. I mean, we are on 2 TCs per player. And things are actually starting to slow down a bit. Neither is really in that good of a spot to apply pressure to the other. At 30 players, and I try to keep things consistent, but as is the case with T90, that can be kind of tough. 5 relics in right now for Barles, though. PC number 3 coming in, and that's actually a big pile of gold over here to the east of the map. Same thing here for Barles. And there is the Sicilian horse collar, the best upgrade in the game. Siege Workshop here to the east as well. In the quarters, I mean, it's just, they played a bunch of tournaments and they naturally run into each other because they both go far. Alright, so it looks like 1 relic at least is going to be going here for Andy, but Barles with his 5 relics is going to be a tough opponent to beat now. And it seems like... I mean, Andy is still ahead in vills, and he is still ahead in resources. In theory, this is good for him. Although, look at this, more donjons coming in. Gotta love those record-scratching DJs. Strong and imp? Oh, they're okay. Kinda depends on the situation. In this matchup, the fact that Gujaras have gunpowder is really helpful, but Sicilians do have very tanky units and a way better trash. Oh, another donjon! Oh, Barles. We know that Barles is probably the most tower-heavy, or tower-happy high-level player. Where are the other streamers? I don't know. Why do people keep asking me? I'm sure I'm not the only one. As if, like, I somehow know exactly what all of the other AoE community members do at any given point. I just do things. Anyway, big fight happening up over here. The Vills are going to be pretty good at punching down the Donjon, of course, but the issue right now is that it's causing a lot of idle time. Has 10 screens with spy cams and all the other streamers. You got me. You guys got me. You found my secret. But yeah, I mean, there was just a tournament that finished up on Sunday, right? So this is still sort of early stages of the next tournament. So I imagine that all the other casters will be casting away as the tournament progresses. Now Barles is just getting such an enormous lead. 35 villagers killed to 8. 77 to 36 eco KD. The res collected advantage is now in his favor, and Barles is going full Sicilians here, guys. It is fun to watch. Oh no, the villagers are trying to go to the houses. They're in tournament? You know, that would make sense, but honestly, this doesn't really seem like the best organized tournament. I don't think Barles has a university. Okay, another castle's coming in. It's a good castle, but it feels like you're just losing so much on the other side. Sergeants are still running around everywhere. Oh no! Mangonel is out of position here a bit. Uh-oh. I mean, you can't let the Mangonel go down. That's like the last thing you can do. Okay, the castle is going to go in here. Those fills are going on an adventure. Defensive donjons coming up here at the back. Both players' food income is just completely shot at this point. Oh, it's not even so much about streaming on the GL channel, but you just assume that somebody from GL is streaming, right? But I guess Viper and Hera aren't really that interested in casting this. Ornlu. Always, always look after your Ornlu. Alright, more raids coming in on the side, but Barles is just so far ahead in population. The push is still happening here to the east. We got Rams in as well. Kickstarting his casting career. Yeah. A caster still? Well, if only there was a handsome and talented caster that would be available for them. Yeah, let's call TOS. Exactly. Exactly. You guys know what's up. No murder holes yet. The date went fine, but then I got hit with the, I realized I'm not ready to be in a relationship afterwards. Classic. After I, you know, have to drive an hour each way and pay for lunch. But, you know, it is what it is. I mean, as much as Andy is getting some okay damage here and there, it's just a matter of scale. He's just taking so much damage on the other side, but that was a fun game. That was a fun one. I am pretty darn good at women coming to that realization. All right, Barl's up 2-1. 25 sergeants made. It was a messy game, but Barles was able to sort of fight through it and keep Andy's eco idle more.
Namaste.
Like, early on, Andy was getting ahead in terms of resources, but the thing is he was losing army to make that happen, whereas Barles just sort of kept on building army, he kept on building map control, and Andy was just never able to get his economy functioning. All the unique text in the game? Oh, yeah. Anyway, thanks everyone for watching. Hope you're all having a lovely Wednesday. And remember, we have Yo versus Capoch after this. And that was Andy's #1 home map. So now we have Pez Panino Regicide with an extra bracket on the end. And then Mauerfall. No idea what either of these maps are. We'll have to see. How do girls react when I tell them about my job? One of two things. Either they think it's really cool, or they immediately stop talking to me. There is no in between. I did not have the ability to cast the full finals because I had my date. So I only casted the first 2 games. Mauerfall? I have no idea. Half my I mean, that seems to be pretty par for the course these days. Oh, the AoE too, yeah. Exactly. Wait, it says they're in Kudam still. Uh-oh. Is the spec dashboard crapping out? Let's see. Oh, is it that referring to the fall of the Berlin Wall? It is pretty insane. Yeah, the Civ exclamation mark pools shows you which civs are in which category. Your job's interesting? Oh, no. Tragic. Two pulls, 3. Leadercore does AoE 4 stuff now, as far as I know. Twin pools. But again, it's there are 5 civs in 10 different civ pools, and they can choose any of those civs. It's kind of weird. Yeah, the food items are the pools, and I don't really have a good way of showing the different civ pools. Yeah, they pick the pools for their opponent. Here. So these are all the different pools, and your opponent picks the pools, but you can pick whatever civ you want from those pools. And it seems like the 5 civs are all random. Like, I don't see any, like... Oh, hold on. Berbers, Malians, Persians, Saracens, Turks are all Middle East, North Africa, or West Africa. And then Caviar is all East Asia. Britons and Franks are together. This is all Southeast Asia. Yeah, not too sure. Particular map? No, it's just you can use any of those 10 civs. Slavs now, I think otherwise you wouldn't have enough civs, so you can play multiple civs from the same pool, just no repeating civs. Tilted final spot indoor. What about Infinity? Oh my goodness. That having, like, I struggle to think of a way that it is... I struggle to think of an easy way to show you guys what exactly is going on with the different civ pools and all that. Yeah, they are on Liquipedia too. Grenadiers good against anything. They're good against just masses of units. And they're also a good early Castle Age unit because they have a lot of stats without needing any upgrades. Maybe we should see something on Discord. List? That would be a very tiny list because it's a big page. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Rotating animation? That would be something. Be helpful. But it's like, I would need a space to display all 50 civilizations. The link? What's the Imgur thing? The Imgur link. A GL player went live. But he's playing Rage Forest. Uh-huh. Classic. Classic GL streams. Okay, I'm gonna ask what's going on. Against Vilasa. Uh-huh. Well, as I am like 93% sure they aren't in a game. Okay, I literally type in Oni.freaking_Andy, which is Andy's exact in-game name, and what pops up is the Rage Forest lobby. Go figure. Oh wait, hold on. Grab Vespa's typing. Best of 3? No, it's a best of 5. The whole tournament's been a best of 5. But I think that the BF stuff is way overplayed. Hyper was more fun? No, they aren't in the lobby, though. Alright, now grab Vespa's not typing anymore. So I'm gonna start making some coffee, guys. I'm sorry, I don't, I'm not any wiser. Be right back. All right. Delay due to misunderstanding of the map. Ah. And I failed to download match content. Okay, looks like they literally just started, guys. Sorry about the issues. All right. 60-second wait, 1 sec. All right. Lots of running around in this house right now. All right, so this map is Pez Panino. And it's Regicide. All right, so Barl's 1 game away from knocking out Andy and moving on to the next round. He is going to be in the blue as the Byzantines to the northwest, and to the southeast in the orange as the Dravidians. Tournament life on the line. It will be freaking Andy. Come on, it's literal freaking Andy. ZOMG. All right, so what's this map all about? So the north and south have gold behind a wood line. There's also an island with some gold and stone. There's stone in the middle of the map. It feels like all of this, like, map, like, intricacy, I guess, matters a lot less than it's just, you know, an aggressive hybrid map. And when everything else is said and done, it's still probably just going to come down to who wins water. Looks like you have maybe some different food resources near your base. You don't have that much gold or stone to play with near your base as well, so you do want to be able to chop through to the golds there for sure. All right. So, Iporita. Send the pictures of fitting frames in Discord. Just add the... Yeah, I've done that before. Sure, we can do that. Thanks, Fodler. Yeah, I can do that.
Sorry.
All right, so, I mean, Byzantines versus Dravidians, they're both good hybrid civs. King is threatened. Well, maybe the king went to a restaurant and they spit on his food. Hello, iChipmunk. I'm doing all right. Bondler? I mean, it would have been a Freudian slip. Anyway, fishing ships. For each player, 2 to 3. Both players on their way up, similar time, so Barles is just going to be actually soon to be 2 fishing ships ahead. That said, Andy will be getting his 200 wood when he hits feudal age, and his aggressive potential is going to be a little bit higher. And I feel like with the long rush distance on the water, and I think both... Okay, Barles has not scouted his opponent's dock. If we go to Andy's POV, he has. I feel like it should be a pretty simple matter for Andy to go galleys, but Andy's clearly with another plan in mind. Where is his barracks? Oh, here it is. Oh, look at this. Also gathering a little bit of gold here from the oysters. And is that a corgi in my room now? Oh my goodness. Alright, feudal age is in. Same exact uptime. But as you can see, Barles is perfectly safe here at home. He has access to gold and even a little bit of stone. You lazy? Yeah, you don't need to worry about that. Oysters, it sure does. Didn't I just do a video on that? I'm pretty sure I just did a video on that. SMH. Alright, archery range follow-up here as well. Men-at-Arm upgrade is coming in. But Barles is going to have his own defensive archery range here in a second, and I don't really see him taking any damage. The Men-at-Arms rushes have not really done a whole lot so far. Oh, I like this, though. I didn't know you could do this. I guess it is mangrove terrain, technically. Interesting. That does it? Yes, it does. Oh, okay. So, yeah, you have a really safe fish boom. And Andy, although he was later in adding the fishing ships, will have more in total, as Barles has completely stopped his fishing ship production for now. And Barles is going to start to come in with his own defensive skirmishers. And I really have to say that the Men-at-Arm openings have not impressed in this series so far. YouTube videos in this economy? Hey, man. I'm sure, you know, Spirit of the Law and T90 and Hera are all doing just fine. Look at this king surveying the peasants as they gather food for him. Presto. Salve. Impero. Well, skirmisher follow-up is here for the Dravidians player. Random fire galley over here, not that it's likely to do a whole heck of a lot. There's actually 2 fire galleys in total. It looks like Barles realizes now that just keep adding in more fishing ships. Yeah. Classic. Well, the way is shut. Now you must die. Alright, almost chopping through over there. Not that you, again, need it really in the short run. Even the oysters help out with the gold income. Okay, the classic Fireship versus Men-at-Arm micro that we see every game. And the skirms will be enough to force away these units for now. Fletching is also coming in from Barles, who is willing to delay his castle age a little bit at the very least for that. Note that the fishing ship counts are very similar as well, 8 to 7, just a little bit better for Andy. And as soon as Andy gets another building, he can click up. Actually, with the timing a little bit, but still, he is on his way. Nothing, because Emocolado likes to do that to me all the time. I don't even think he's going anywhere. It's just his thing. You know, everyone has to have a gimmick. Anyway, Andy is getting closer to the castle age. He still has a little ways to chop through, though, because note that he's also had villagers chopping this forest as well. So maybe he could think about transporting over? Is being technically correct? Something like that. Alright, Castle Age is now on the way for Barles, but Andy's gonna have an obvious advantage. He did spend the 20 stone on these 4 segments of Stonewall. And there's even another dock coming in. I mean, I guess he can just kind of fish boom in the corner. But Barles is over here now. Andy is obviously going to see... Never mind. It's a complete surprise! For now. Thank you, everyone who is staying. I still have 200 people watching. That is okay for me. Alright, so it looks like Andy is still going to be focused on the fish boom, but that is going to make him even more susceptible to this fire galley play. Huskies or Killer Bee comes like, oh, there we go. I can't do the solid snake alert thingy. Homies, you must not have many homies, Legendar. I kid. Alright, Market and Siege Workshop are both coming in. Andy seems pretty content to just sort of chill and hang back here. He's getting another TC. Go chop through to this side area. Voice line, yeah, the exclamation mark. But there's also like a little stinger that goes with it. Come on. There we go. Yeah, neither of these are really sort of boomy eco civs. Both are much more Byzantines are more defense focused. Dravidians I would just characterize as more of a military civ. They have lots of very strong unit options, and they have some good timings, but they're not really focused too much on the economy side of things. The edge of the map, it is actually a small mistake, unless he couldn't fit one because of the oysters here. Which is possible. Anyway, Bowsaw is now in for each player. You also have the extra horse collar upgrade here as Barles. And again, both players are content, at least for now, to hang back. That said, look at this. I guess Andy is saying, I'm going to kill your fishing ships, and I'm okay losing mine, but he also has more fishing ships than his opponent, so that doesn't really feel very good for him. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, Andy. Come on, Andy. I want a game 5. Oh, no. Andy just... Unless he literally didn't see it. But he saw the dock. Oh, Andy. Oh, what a sad ending to... This was looking like a good game. But, I mean, it was a huge loss from Andy. Like, again, Andy did get kind of clobbered right there because these stone walls were here in time as well for Barles. So he wouldn't have been able to harass his opponent's fishing eco, and Andy was literally losing everything over here. So that's really unfortunate. Overall, a very good series, but kind of a clunker to end it on, unfortunately. I mean, he wanted to go for the counterattack. I think he just didn't appreciate just how many fire ships were over here from Barles. I mean, Andy was ahead in terms of eco. It's just, you know. Sometimes you make a fatal mistake. I would go so far as to say he should have checked. We'll take it one step further. What is this hyper-random thing? Is that the... Huh? Oh, it's a Zetnus thing. Velocitato, Vinch, and Andy. Well, as this is the bigger tournament, and Dave is obviously already casting the other one, And actually, Mem is too. We'll keep casting this. And looks like Capoch and Yo are drafting. Yeah, but that was like more of a full-blown tournament, wasn't it? If memory serves. Well, it's not a show match though. It's a 4-person little bracket. Finals? Ah. Well, we'll keep casting this. Come on. Update the stream title. Yo versus Capoch. All good here. Now let's check the Civ drafting stuff. I mean, remember, guys, they are picking for each other. And this will also give you an opportunity to set up the slideshow thingy. You lost to Lewis. What, 3 days ago? Future goat, yeah. I'll believe it when I see it. Alright, so let's do... I don't know, would I trust a file that Fodler sends to me? It could be dangerous. Alright. Obviously, that's still a little large. Alright, I don't know about this. On the overlay? Not easily. MS Paint? Yeah. Alright, I am going to get my coffee. Well, Div Tom, I just did that specifically because I don't like you. Which I think is very fair. Yeah, borrows one. Alright, so it looks like Capoch has made the lobby. Hopefully we'll get into this in just a moment. Game number 1 is going to be on Cookout. That is up using them? What? Alright, they're in Kudam. But the information superhighway? Alright, 1 minute and 34 seconds. Alright, 50 seconds. Explain the draft? Oh yeah, you draft civ pools for each other. And then of course, just as Div Tom shows up, I forget to do this ahead of time when I did it for the last series. Oh no. Yeah, the internet was the information superhighway. Alright guys, here we are, game number 1 in our second best of 5 of the day, and also last. We'll have Yo in the red as the Mayans to the northwest here of Kudam. And Capoch will be in the blue as the Khmer to the southeast. Yeah, so basically, there are 10 groups or pools of 5 civs each, and it seems like a random group of 5 civs. And you pick the civ pools for your opponent. You pick 2 civ pools for your opponent. So win a best of 5, you actually have 10 civs to choose from. Although none of those 10 civs are of your own picking. No, you cannot convert Gaia buildings. But yeah, we saw a very good game in the last series between Barles and Andy here on Kudam. It's basically just a very aggressive map. The houses do serve a purpose, though, or, you know, the city, I guess. It serves a purpose in making the map smaller. So it's just a very, very small, aggressive map. But at the very least, you can expand away from your opponent. Honestly, seems like a pretty good map, and certainly thematic for, you know, the urban Berlin team. Although it would be better if they had the Central European architecture set, I gotta say. Maya, Chimera? I mean, they're both very good aggressive civs. Yeah, I only know Information Superhighway from, you know, late 90s, early 2000s, like, videos and stuff I watched as a kid. So, we do need to favor Yo in general here, but Capoch is a really strong player. And going to be taking some fish there on the side, and is actually going to be securing some cows over there as well. So there are 4 ponds in total with 3 shorefish in them and 3 cows nearby. So you would think that players would make a beeline to pick up the cows there. The slideshow looks fine. Thank you. All right, looking to lure in these boar over here, BF style. And still, Capoch is going to escape with a couple of extra cows. Wow, I just realized the guy from China is the one who's getting the extra pigs, and the guy from Argentina is the one who's getting the extra cows. Freaking stereotypes ruining the world again. Oh! Yo, screwing this up. Yo, screwing it up for sure. With his eagle? No, his eagle's still full HP. Oh! Oh, all of that work just to get 1 boar. Oh, don't lose that one, Yo. Oh, that hurts, man. That does hurt. Anyway, both players are actually up kind of slow. Huh. 22 pop, no loom? Like, that's not a super aggro uptime. Yo, meanwhile, is with 22 villagers, but he's at least going for a men-at-arm rush. Yes it is. I mean, everything is a longer-lasting resource for Mayans. I'm trying to, like, what isn't? I mean, it even includes farms. Maybe it doesn't include fish traps? That's a little awkward. Third militia's coming in. Men-at-arm upgrade 10 seconds off. Oh, it definitely applies to oysters. Alright, Eagle can block, of course. That's going to be a dead villager with some decent micro, and, you know, it does have decent micro. Even if he isn't a full-blown micro nerd. Does need to get those fills working back up at home. Archery range is coming in here as well. First Archer is going to be out for Capoch, but a bit of an ugly start for him. He is behind by 200 resources. What? What is this? That was weird. It's like the ints were just spazzing out and one was attacking through the diagonal. Anyway, double bit X is a little bit later for Yo, but it is still coming in. He's grabbing a second mill. There are 2 forage bush patches for the players. And Mayans are certainly going to be happy with all of these food resources lasting longer. It's just delaying the farming is so impactful. Charlie's in the trees. Yeah, basically. It's always Victor Charlie, man. Alright, stable coming in. I'm going to go scouts plus archers as the Khmer, of course, makes plenty of sense. Capoch, though, with also more idle TC time. Food is gone there. Where are those bills going? Is spaz a slur? It's definitely not a nice thing to say, but it's not a slur. Oh, archers are here. They have fletching. You can jump into the houses, but it's going to cause idle time regardless, and you shouldn't have lost that. Oh, you should not have lost that. Archer's coming back on the other side with no fletching, and Yo is just absolutely in control of this game, number one. Visual space. From California? Uh-huh. I don't know why California never builds up. It's not like they have like a super beautiful historic skyline to preserve. It's just so much urban sprawl. I know I'm saying that coming from the Chicago area, but Chicago at least it feels like it has somewhat denser population. Oh no, that is quite the name. Like, that's one I would just want to get changed. That is not a good one. Anyway, Yo is continuing to take good fights here. Skirms don't even have the +1 defense. I mean, I guess that is a cleanup. That's something. Meanwhile, double range archers here for Yo. Trying to go for the scout skirm combo is Capoch. But he's only just now farming, so not really the super Khmer charged eco that you'd typically expect at this point in the game. Yo also was able to pick up horse collar. Black or white? I don't think that would make it any better or worse. I think they're bad for different reasons. Yeah. Oh, does get a Vil on the other side. Nicely done there from Capoch. Good micro. Of course, Yo can mix in a few Eagle Warriors to help deal with skirmishers. After marriage? Well, it's a miss, right? So... Well, I guess that doesn't really mean anything. The 1950s. I don't think that would work out very well. Oh yeah, she definitely fumbled. Well, I mean, Capoch is doing a pretty good job trying to keep himself afloat in this game, but Yo is just getting up to castle age so much faster. Also I felt like we lost everybody. Not everybody, but we lost a lot of people. Cursed downtime, man. Kills it. Alright. Castle age is on the way. The downtime is brutal. Well, I mean, from a broadcast perspective, the downtime is like the worst thing possible. Especially if there's like something else people want to watch, like the Hyper Random series. It's like people are just going to switch over to that. Anyway, Castle Age is coming in. Yo's archer numbers continue to climb. And right now, everyone's just kind of poking and prodding. No one really wanting to commit to a fight. Capoch does click up. Again, Capoch is a step behind in most ways, and I think that just by virtue of how snowbally early game is, he's continuing to fall a bit further behind. But it's not like he's doing things poorly. Scale barding armor is on the way. At the very least, you have that mobility advantage as the Khmer. Oh, I thought you were talking about my my analysis of Capoch falling further behind there for a second. I'm like, I don't know, Boom. I've seen a lot of AoE too, and I know you've seen your fair share as well. It's definitely how it works. Anyway, this should be pretty brutal. Bleeding guilty? Oh my goodness. Alright, second TC coming in. Ah, the forward university. Go learn at your opponent. Show them how much more learned you are. Nice move there. By folder comp? I mean, that does check out. Triple stable even. Oh boy. With only 15 on food, that's not great. This area is still open. There are only 2 spearmen and 1 crossbowman, but the amount of damage done on the other side should be pretty catastrophic, honestly. Oh! Whoa! Owie. Getting learned. Well, I do call the university the House of Book Larnin. Hello, Skeeta. Alright, +2 defense and ballistics both coming in. Oh no! Run away! Run away! Oh! We got a runner on our hands. Alright, chain barding armor coming in. I'm sure that Capoch is going to try and get some counterattack damage done. But it just feels like his ability to do so is so much lower. But yeah, ballistics being in is so huge. I don't see how Capoch can reasonably defend here. Poor Capoch.
Shot it.
Gets a couple kills there. I mean, this is still Yo, I think, just playing a little too well for Capoch to handle. Cute that those vills have been working the whole time, though. Well, that's wrong, Brutality. Yo is now going to be on 3 TCs behind this. It's like the classic, what could be worse than a giant paint bubble? 2 giant paint bubbles. Alright, Yo now going on over to Stone with plenty of vills. Of course, could be thinking about his own aggressive castle to end this one. I mean, yeah, just great play here for Yo. Le ring du thumb, as they say in France. Oh, some of those vills actually escaped. But that might be the Capoch GG. Yeah. Honestly, it's... Do you guys notice any mistakes Yo made that game? Because, oh no, he lost like 1 vill he shouldn't have. Other than that, he played basically a flawless game of AoE 2. Yeah, the boar lure was not the greatest. SMH, yo. But it's just kind of interesting, right? Because that game from Yo, I think most of us can agree, was, pretty flawless. And yet, it looks so different than a Hera game. Like, the Hera game would still be far more precise and, would still be getting the huge eco behind it, and it just looked a little different. Once I murdered T90? I need to flee to Germany. He's grinding ladder, that's true. Anyway, Ro Rage is next. I remember Ro Rage. Oh, isn't this another aggressive hybrid map? Get the Kawasan? Jeez. Alrighty, everybody, here we are in game number 2. Up here to the north of the map in the blue as the Georgians, it will be Capoch on Ro Rage. And to the south in the red as the Celts, it will be Mr. Yo. I don't know why I just did like an old-timey baseball announcer voice, but again, I don't know why I do anything. Oh, wait, this... So Ro Rage was the original version of, what was it, like African Pond or whatever? The one that had the fish boom pond in the back, and then it had like the stone in the middle and then the gold on the sides. I think that was originally Ro Rage. This is different though. It's got like the Kawasan style ponds. But it also has one in the middle, and obviously Capoch going to be going there very quickly, leveraging the Georgian free mule card, etc., etc. Capoch's woodline? Oh, it is! To be fair, you're literally the one of the 2 civs that could literally just reposition the mule cart so you have a more efficient economy. A lot of gold on this map? There's a bit more than normal. But they're not in very large piles. Confounded us all. I think it would require a lot more grant money than you guys are getting to figure out the mind of the Ornlu. Anyway, good start here for Capoch. Yo is, of course, going to be the Celts, though. Another very good aggressive civ. I'd also like to point out that for some reason people still think Georgians are bad, even though we see them constantly. But yeah, just faster in getting the fishing ships down. Yo is going to be getting some fishing ships himself. But unlike on Kawasan, it's going to be very, very difficult to defend your ships, as other than some small areas over here, you are not able to sail anywhere that cannot also be traversed by units. Celt wood bonus? No. The more valuable aspect of it for Georgians is that you save the resources at the very start of the game so you can go for a very early dock. Or go for a very quick uptime. Or both.
Here.
Now, if you want to ask what's better, the Armenian bonus or the Celt bonus, it's still, I think, the Celt bonus. Although the Armenian one is... The thing with, like, Armenians is that you have several bonuses, right? You have cheaper mule carts and the better efficient eco upgrades and the free relic and also the best ability to take relics on the map. So you kind of have several different eco bonuses all together. Whereas Celts just have the one straightforward eco bonus.
Get you arse.
And with Georgians, of course, you also have, like, the early game bonus with the free mule cart. And then you also have the Fortified Church bonus, which is one of, if not the best late game eco bonus. Anyway, things are looking relatively even, all things considered. Capoch with a little bit of idle time. You're going to be going with some early infantry here once again. And it will be from a forward. And here comes the dock as well. So certainly Celt's one of the better aggressive civs in the game. Man, I like Celts. They're a fun civ. Armenians or Malians? As in, who has the better eco? I don't think there's a correct answer there. I would put them as both a solid A-tier eco civs. Alright, so going to be getting a men-at-arms before the 4th Swordsman, which I think makes oodles of sense. And in come the militia here. Lost Son? Definitely not. My playstyle is literally the opposite of Huang. Alright, gets an early kill there, although the scout does lose most of its HP in the process. But in many ways, this feels a bit like a repeat of the previous game. Wait. Oh, okay, you do have a Dark Age bonus of infantry speed again. I forgot about that. That actually is a little bit awkward because one Men-at-Arm made it through, whereas the other two were kind of stuck on the other side of the wall. Anyway, Fire Galley doing Fire Galley things, but right now... Oh, this is going to be a kill. Yep. Uh-oh, guys. Uh-oh. Has Yo decided to win the video game? This aggression is absolutely crushing it right now. Well, Blacksmith is being rushed up. The men-at-arms are forced to flee for now. But you're also going to have the Skirmisher follow-up. Just kidding, the Archer follow-up here for Yo. He has a lot of gold in the bank. Honestly, not the best eco balance. Talon Watch coming in because Yo's getting housed. Yeah, it's going to be a bit of a better fight here for Capoch. Oh, look at this. Oh, my goodness. Early fire ships look like weird insects. It's probably because of the galley ores. Not even able to finish the dock there is really rough. Easy kill there. 5 dead villagers at this point. Now, there is fletching in on the archers. The Celt swordsmen are faster naturally, but they're going to be taking a lot of damage here because they don't have their own defense upgrade to compare. So the range unit numbers are slowly climbing. Yo trying to take the best fights he possibly can with his swordsmen. Capoch, though, plenty of fire ships here, is doing a decent job on the water, but he's just behind by 500 resources. Yo is also still ahead in resources destroyed. And you're going for a stable as Capoch with 10 on food, which doesn't feel very good. In fact, it feels very bad. Gonna try and edit some more fishing ships on the side, though. He also has a dock over to the west. Yo has his own dock here, and it looks like neither know of the other. Yep. Blacksmith coming in for Yo. Gonna need to start getting his farming eco going soon. Actually, that's true for both players. I guess you still have some deer you can take. The more Kawasan. It's more aggressive than Kawasan is. Because Kawasan, it's like you have to fight on the water and on the land. Here, it's basically you can just fight on the land and do damn. Oh my god. The only silver lining is fletching isn't in. That's literally the only silver lining.
Get you arse.
Yeah, no kill. Kawasan, yeah. Yo's pretty close to Castle Age, though, and that could easily be the dagger in Capoch's heart. You can fish in your berries? That's just Danger Duck maps in general. Anyway, nice here from Capoch to try and catch the archers between his own group of archers, but again, Yo's just kind of cruising until Castle Age, which he's clicking up to now with a very significant lead. 6 villagers killed. He's 1,100 resources ahead. Oh, Yo's even trying to out-juke his opponent. That's cute. We have some scouts over here. Yo's probably going to want to invest into a few more spearmen. But I'm not too sure what Yo wants to do in the Castle Age, though. I mean, Capoch is going scouts plus archers. And usually the traditional answer to that is knights, but I don't see a stable yet. As knights are decent against both scouts and archers. Capoch is starting to take some better fights. Into woads. I'm not sure how you do that without any stone income. That does seem a bit bold to me. Kid? More archers swinging in. Oh dear. Longswordsman, if that were the case, he would be getting more upgrades and more barracks, but he's not doing any of these things. Also, pro players don't just go longswordsman. It's not me playing, man. Anyway, decent enough defense there. But I think it's just the eco difference. Is he building? Okay, yeah, he's going double stable here at home. The knight play here is the most traditional answer. And as much as I love the longswordsman play in general, I think this is actually the best thing you can go for if you're up against Scout plus Archer. Go longswordsman? I mean, I think you can. But if you were doing that, you'd be building extra barracks and building up those numbers on the way up to Castle Age. Whereas Yo is obviously not doing that. And in terms of, if you have very few units on the field, knights are a lot more bang for your buck than longswordsmen are. Almost equal while going up to Castle Age. I don't know why you're saying that like it's some funny joke. That's just accurate. Yo is also grabbing a second town center. Just super far ahead. Husbando, Ellie's favorite upgrade. Alright, Castle Age is on the way for Capoch. He's lost a lot, though. Are knights too good? That's an interesting question. Because AoE is just in general designed around knights. Personally, I would also give longswordsmen one more attack. So that they have 10 attacks, so they have the same attack as a knight. Like, I think it's fair that you have longswordsmen have the same attack as a knight. You have two-handed swordsmen have the same attack as a cavalier. And champions have the same attack as a paladin. Like, that all feels pretty fair to me. Nerf knight? That could just have such a cascading effect, though. Watch, that would be pretty troll. And I'm not talking like troll in the dungeon type troll.
Ichostre Marjorie. Zaars.
Well, you're still going to be able to buy some more time. Like this almost feels like a repeat of the last game, even if Yo is playing a pretty different civilization than Mayans. Capoch fell behind a lot early on. He's going to try and go for triple stable knights. But just Yo is already cruising on 3 TCs. He's getting some monks out. He's picking up relics. Now, Capoch does have bloodlines in, and he's got the Georgian's bonus of the HP regeneration. So honestly, this isn't too bad, but Yo's also mining stone. He's actually going to be mining a fair amount of stone at this point to work towards a castle. First fortified church coming in here for Capoch as well. Again, the question simply is, where is Capoch going in this game? You're going to be going for probably a mixture of woads and pikemen. Makes plenty of sense to me. I mean, the knights are going to work in early Castle Age, but Celts do need to make that switch over. Without Monasma, I mean, it's not even really the civ at this point for Capoch. Capoch could be any civilization here, and he'd be just as horrible, or rather, in just as horrible a position. Second relic coming in for Yo. And pikeman production is starting here. Nobody's really able to fish at this point. It's just too easy to send knights around and kill any stray fishing ships or villagers. More knights trying to come forward. But Yo can already afford a castle. Now, I guess the reasonable question is, do you go for an aggressive castle here? And I'm not sure you do. Yeah, I kind of like this from Yo. It feels like the only way you could possibly lose this game as Yo is if you get raided to death. And that is much harder to make happen if you have 3 defensive barracks making pikemen as the Celts. And then also a defensive castle. Oh, and he could get Stronghold to heal up his injured infantry units. Oh man, it would be so OP. You guys just aren't ready for the Galaxy Brain play yet. Yes, he is slurping up the relics. Brutality, why does that sound so gross? No, but I mean, Yo has historically been one of the best players at making sure he picks up relics. It's actually something that a young Hera, back when he was, you know, still climbing up to the top, didn't do very well at all, was he wouldn't even go and pick up relics very intensely. The Stronghold AoE? That might be a little too good. Yo sure does love his grindy games. 4th relic in here for our red player. Last relic's right there. All 5 relics are in the middle of the map, which is why Yo's had such an easy time of picking them up. That said, guys, there are more knights than pikemen, which is not good for the pikemening player. But it's like, what is the next step of your master plan, Capoch? Second castle coming in. Well, I mean, like, when Hera was still trying to improve. Like, I'm not talking about, like, super young Hera that just went scout all in every single game. No chance against the top players? Probably not. Oh, the knights still should win this fight. Good micro from Capoch. Yeah, Capoch is somebody who's probably in the top 20 to 30 range. And I think that's still just a little too low to have a reasonable matchup against a top 5 player like Yo. Maybe even top 3 these days. Hard to break into the top 10. I just don't... I mean, obviously Capoch is a much older player. I just don't think he has it in him. But not that I think that's what he's necessarily trying to do. I don't think Capoch is full-time AoE. Anyway, Wody McWodeface coming in. It's wild how much better this unit is. I mean, again, AOC Woad Raiders... Well, in Age of Kings, they didn't have any Pierce armor, and their movement speed was slower. So, like, even the AOC ones were better, but in AOC, they only had 8 attack instead of 11, and then they had 65 HP instead of 70, although their movement speed was very slightly faster. Anyway, 4th TC here for Yo. He is just taking no risks. I mean, there's no reason for Yo to attack right now. It's the only way he could possibly lose the game. This isn't even really a Hera situation of, okay, we get ahead in early game and then we just boom and defend and go to late game. This is because especially Capoch is only on 1 TC, there really isn't much for Yo to do. Anyway, I think he has Imperial queued up behind a villager somewhere. Yeah, right there. Need to build a Wonder to win? No, not in competitive AoE 2. Wonders can work in casual games, but in a high-level game, if you have a Wonder, then either it's a losing play, because you've just invested a gajillion resources into a Wonder, or you've already won the game and could have won the game faster if you had just, you know, killed your opponent with all the resources and build time that a Wonder costs. Anyway, Yo just needs to keep on making more, you know, pikemen and woad raiders, and he's good to go. Also, they'd make games campy. Yeah, Wonders aren't literally disabled. Like, you can build Wonders in, you know, even tournaments. They just don't do anything. Right? I think it would make for some very bad gameplay. Especially at low levels, I imagine a Wonder victory would be really frustrating, as players are uncomfortable attacking. You see your opponent plop down a Wonder, and it's probably going to be pretty frustrating. With Wonders enabled, I don't think that would change anything. Like, again, even if you're playing Arena and it's almost impossible to raid your opponent, in an otherwise even game, can you really afford to put all the resources there into a Wonder? I don't think so. Anyway, Yo was actually getting Stronghold just as the game ended. But yeah, like I said, Yo was simply way too far ahead, way too quickly. The early aggression did so much work, and his eco was just flying ahead of his opponent. No scouts, but in lower level games, you don't really get scout rushed, do you? I don't think so. Right, Capoch losing Row Raid, so now we have Chili Nomad, Regular Nomad, and Canal Clash, so we have 3 more hybrid maps. Lol. Looks like Canal Clash is the next one, which is Trace Leche's one, I think. Or that's the name of it. Scout Eagle. I am probably one of the casters, content creators, who has the worst idea of what happens in low elo games. You know, as much as I can be made fun of for my suboptimal play, I'm not a low elo player, nor do I watch low elo games like T90 does or Dave does. So I don't like even a lot of the pro players coach as well. And hello, OG Keebs. Find low elo? I think the traditional definition of low elo is below 1k. I think that's how T90 defines it, at least. Never look down? Let's go with that. Designed, that is exactly it. Yours than you specifically? Yeah. But it's definitely a flaw in any analysis I do of like civ design and balance, is that I just don't really have a great idea of how casuals approach the game. I mean, I had a better understanding in AOC, but the thing is, even casual players in AOC, because it was such a small community, like, everybody knew what the pro players were doing and trying to emulate that. It's just a matter of how good you were at it. Alrighty, so tournament life on the line. It will be Capoch in the blue as the Vietnamese to the west of the map, and to the east, so I guess you can get a far spawn. But Yo in the red as the Burgundian, so Yo is certainly going to be happy to get a long rush distance as Burgundians here. Don't dolphin noise at me. No SpongeBob swearing.
Bonjour.
Map colors? Don't tell that to our base. Easy? I mean, yeah, that's what I did when I was 12, too. Or, like, just a few games with my family members. I only, like, really learned about the pro scene when I was, like, 13, 14, maybe? Why Burgundians here? I honestly don't know. They're a little too slow to be a good aggressive hybrid civ, but again, this particular distance happened to have a very, or this particular generation had a very long rush distance, so Burgundians are going to be just fine. Yes, Yo does like Burgundians a lot for sure. But yes, I don't know why Burgundians specifically. All grown up. Well, remember, Div Tom's a fair bit older than I am, so me at 12 is much closer to the modern competitive AoE scene. Because I started watching in, like... I mean, like, when I was a little kid, I mean, I was pretty young when I discovered AOK Heaven. But I started following AOC Zone, I think only in, like, 2011, 2012. Do it every game. Well, I mean, a lot of people are just gonna look at tutorials and stuff like that for early game, and they just don't know how to. They don't have the experience to deviate beyond that. AOC, well, yeah, obviously, like back then, the whole idea of esports was a pretty bizarre one.
Bonjour.
Much less the idea of someone doing it full time. Beating Yo, it's not like, oh, there's a specific anti-Yo strategy to go for. It's more of Capoch just needs to have that clean game and make things a bit messier for Yo. Because Yo's been the one who's been doing the aggression in this series, and that doesn't really feel like the route to victory for Capoch. Another elephant coming in for Yo. Honestly, Yo might just try and fast castle, which does open up a bit of an opportunity here for Capoch to make something happen. Those vills are coming. An anti-Huang strat? Not really. Okay, looks like Yo's going to try and go for the Coustelier. This should be a pretty good opportunity for Capoch to make something happen, though. Flemish Militia. I mean, you don't rush with them, but you can mix them in the early game, which is really nice. And you can do that on any map type. It's kind of a neat unit now. You know, Flemish Revolution aside. Alright, Capoch queued up some infantry units. Yo clicks up to the Feudal Age. I am not at all sold on this working for him. Archery range coming in. Capoch, recognizing that Yo is playing greedy here, is just going to take it right to him. And Vietnamese themselves are just such a flexible civ that you can go aggressive, you can go passive, and it is all just fine. Vietnamese are super good. To nerf Red... it's not to nerf Phosphorus himself. It's to nerf that style of build, which is generally very uninteractive. It's like one of the least fun things you can play against. It was the same thing with the Tower Rush. Well, Yo will likely need a defensive tower of his own. The Phosphorlings. I still think that it's really too good. Oh, it's 100% because it was unfun to play against, and it was a little brain dead. You shouldn't be able to do the same strategy over and over and over again every single time, especially if it's an all-in strategy and expect it to work. Like, you're supposed to have to adapt to your civ matchup and map. And it's not like, oh, I'm opening scouts every game. That's just doing the same strategy over and over again. It's the fact that it's a specific all-in strategy. That, wait, Yo needs to build a dock here. Hey, hamster. The thing is, hamstering isn't one build, right? It's a specific set of builds. And the thing with hamstering is that it always leaves the window to transition into something else, because that's good AoE play. Yeah, it doesn't have the blacksmith yet, it does, Yo. Yeah, hamstering is a lifestyle. I think where the hamsters get frustrated is because they're just not used to playing against it, and it's not... Like, that whole style seems to just mostly prefer playing against itself. You just start with a trade card on this map. Anyway, Yo can't mine any more stone, and his wood income is also heavily threatened. I think that Capoch is worried about a potential demolition ship, otherwise he could just go around with these ranged units. Yeah, he's actually going with a transport ship here, just to play extra safe. I mean, personally, I think you should just go for it, but just wanting to play safe. Because most people don't watch or interact with fostering very often. Personally, I don't think it's actually that good in most situations. You can phosphor with Civ like Bengalis or Koreans and it can work, but those are like the very few times that it's actually like objectively the best way to play. Which is why you don't see it in tournaments. Very often, that is. You do see it occasionally, but again, it has to be the right map and with a civilization like Bengalis or Koreans. I mean, Yo is actually still ahead in resources, which is pretty wild, honestly. And the castle's coming in. A lot of experience with it. It's certainly one of those... Again, I don't even know if it's good. And when I say fostering, I'm specifically referring to the versions of the builds that just completely cut all villager production and go full all in. Not just a fast castle unique unit. Anyway, horse collar now coming in for Yo, scale barding armor, and this Coustelier are on the Cousteli way. Like I said, Capoch should be able to transition out of this pretty comfortably. Fishing ships are going to go down as well. Into GG? No, that's fast imp into GG. That's the fun strat. Or fast imp guilds with Byzantines. That's actually the best strat in AoE 2. Anyway, Capoch is going to go CA. Very normal stuff with Vietnamese. Okay, relics. Well, Yo doesn't really have any wood income right now, which is kind of the issue. He can't really go for a monastery because he needs all of the wood he has for farms. Mills? Yeah, I think that it's kind of like with the Huang stuff. That, yeah, you can go fast castle aggression, but it's almost always better to have at least the option to macro out of it. There are too many situations where you could like get damage done, but it's not enough damage done to make up for the fact that you have literally no eco. And I think those games are the more enjoyable ones anyway. Because what, in my opinion, is not fun is the sorts of strategies where there's literally no out. You want to make sure that the constant adaptation back and forth is, you know, in my opinion, what just makes an AoE game fun and dynamic. Which, again, is why you see people with the Huang Rush actually transition out of it. I mean, there are certainly versions that are all in. Foster has popularized those, but yeah, it's definitely better to at least give yourself the option to transition out of it. Not that there aren't periods where you'll just cut villager production for a while. That's very common. But again, it's all about the nuance. Anyway, second TC coming in for Capoch. He's getting the university for ballistics. I think he's still perfectly fine. He's way ahead in terms of resources. And I am just, again, not sold on this at all being a good idea for Yo. What is fun for your opponent? Exactly. Zero TC play is correct. Yeah, I think it's perfectly interesting. But there should be a way to punish it, right? You know, no build should just be so infallible that you can just, again, autopilot it every single time. You should not be able to fast castle in every single matchup and on, you know, every single map generation. And that's where things can get a little bit icky. Oh, there are absolutely ways to punish it. But it can kind of, it still depends a bit on the map and matchup. Well, I think that's what people enjoy most. Like, I've said this before, but what people enjoy is seeing these very different playstyles, like Huang, like Phosphoru, like the U-Pudding, Sicilian's Rush. People enjoy seeing those sorts of builds every once in a while against their favorite players. Once you start seeing it over and over and over again, the whimsy leaves really quickly. Anyway, Ballistics is now in here for the CA. I mean, the Fusilier are quite cheap, but the Cav Archers are faster, and this still should be a pretty straightforward situation here for Capoch. He's ahead by 7 villagers. Eco upgrades aren't even all that great for Mystery O. Look at this voice, yeah. Something to be silly with. I mean, yeah, it's, you know, you can certainly have it fun. Similar. Yeah, which is why I don't actually think the phosphoring stuff is actually a problem. It's because it, most of the time, is not objectively the correct way to play, and we don't see people do it constantly. Anyway, the transport is still alive, so you can still loop around the back here. Bosaw's even coming in faster for the Vietnamese player, which is not good for Yo. 3 TCs to 2, and again, I just have no idea where Yo is going in this game. Well, this isn't a Foster. This is just Fast Castle. There was no heavy market usage at all from Yo. And Yo wanted to add an extra TC soon as well. Well, that's certainly not bad, but chain barding armor isn't in yet, which isn't great. But what I miss is having a little bit more of the slower up times and the more gradual plays be viable. Unique unit? Phosphor did not invent the fast castle drop unique unit. People have been doing that with Mayans and Spanish for ages. Anyway, Yo's trying to take a good fight here. +2 defense is now in, but I don't think this is going to be good enough, and it certainly isn't. And the CA here are actually also going for a counterattack. I mean, the phosphor thing is, of course, like just selling all the... like, you sell your stone, and then you put all the vills on stone. And it's, again, like you're clicking up on, you know, 21 to 23 pop. Or TC here for Capoch. Still just the 2 for Yo. Yo still has a ton of his eco idled. Yeah, I need to get those guys back to work. You can always see the relics in this tab here. Yo has 3. Phosphor. Again, my definition of phosphor is something much more specific. This is just Fast Castle unique unit. It wasn't even a particularly fast uptime. But that's like saying going 1 TC monks, or just going for Fast Castle monks is pulling in Eddie, because Eddie played like most famously played the most extreme version of it. Yeah, even if it's not what Phosphorou himself does all the time, the specific strategy of the Phosphorou, in my mind, is explicitly cut almost all Vil production, rely on the market, flick up, you know, between 21 to 23 pop, all in. You know, yeah, Yo seems pretty dead. Like I said, there's a reason that just going FC into unique unit is generally pretty bad. I guess you have handcart coming in. Sure, why not? You don't have anything to deal with Cav archers. In general, Burgundians are not a big fan of dealing with CA. FCUU. Yeah, again, like, back in the day, it was very common for Mayans to go drush FC plumed archers. Or Spanish to do that. Still just going to try and chase around the CA. I mean, granted, there are 25 Huslier, which is a pretty good number. Yeah, FC Arambai was also a thing. Castle drop. Well, if you're going for fast castle unique unit, there's no way you can drop a castle in your opponent's base because you have no army. Unless you're happy, you can't just go fast castle, walk across the map, and then drop a castle in your opponent's base. That's not a thing. My unique unit ranking? I think I put them in, like, mid-C tier. Yeah, I mean, going for a castle drop even on 25 Vils is usually pretty all in. Now, Yo is actually going to click up to Imp really fast, which is honestly super impressive eco management from him. I mean, he's caught up in the Vil numbers. He's caught up in the eco as well. Holy cow. Okay, that's not going to work. Owie. That's like another 10 dead Vils. Big out. Also, Elite Hustelier is really expensive. And it honestly doesn't give you that much of a boost. I probably could use a bit of a price decrease. Make it a bit more attractive than going the Paladin line. Because I think going Elite Hustelier is actually more expensive than going for Paladin, even though Paladins are better than Hustelier. As Hustelier are much more of a, you know, that medium cavalry unit. A shock cavalry. Yeah, I was going to get at least some counterattack damage done here, but again, it's the huge blob of CA that I'm not seeing an answer to at the moment. Third castle's coming in. That's going to be great for production. And remember, Hustelier are very cheap. 55 food, 55 gold. So 5 less food and 20 less gold than a knight. Yeah, Capoch definitely ahead in the res destroyed. I don't think Burgundians get Heavy Scorpion, do they? Yeah, they don't. Yeah, I don't think you go for Mass Scorps without Heavy Scorp. And you just don't get those with this Civ. Nah, the big deal is going to be +4 defense and Elite Hustelier if you can get both of those. And that's still going to be very expensive to do. There's +4 defense, and Elite Hustelier should be coming in pretty soon. Elephants? I would prefer that. But I think they're keeping Elephant Archers as something that's only for the Southeast, or the South Asian civs, and not the Southeast Asian civs. I mean, personally, I'd like to see Elephant Archers for, you know, all the Raja civs. battle elephants. I mean, that's kind of the design of those civs. Well, actually, maybe Vietnamese of all the civs would keep CA, but at least don't have them benefit from the extra HP bonus. Hey, Elite Coustelier is in. +4 defense is in. Now is the hour! This is when these units are going to become much, much more effective. 6 Pierce Armor on them. And yet, because Yo's lost so many of his UU in the process, this is still a tough situation for him. It's a lot of CA, in fact. Still, these are Imperial Age. It's herbal medicine coming in, dude. But is it going to be enough? Again, the villager numbers are actually quite similar, and the fact that Yo isn't dead is honestly just a testament to how insane Yo is. There are probably, at most, 3 people in the world, other than Yo, who actually can win this game after the early game. Considering the super long rush distance, Yo having no real good aggressive potential, but it's just all eco management and doing just enough for his opponent to keep his opponent on the back foot. Yeah, Yo is being annoying. Really, really good eco management. That said, Capoch is 30 seconds to Imperial Age. And Yo isn't really killing any of the CA. First Castle only just now coming in for Capoch, and Yo should be able to deny that without too much issue. But like I said, Imp is now going to be in. The Couscous numbers are rising, indeed. I do love Couscous, it's pretty darn good. Yeah, I mean, it was all the defensive castles and the fact that Yo was sort of nestled into the corner of the map. Vietnamese get everything except Parthian TikToks. Last Furnace coming in for Yo, and at which point the Coustelier will be fully upgraded. Still, those CA are going to be real tough to stop. That much CA. Generally speaking, you need skirmishers or siege. On the rare attacks, I mean, it's not super uncommon. Scale into Imp. I mean, personally, I would first just, I would remove Husbandry again. Yeah, Coustelier are dying here. I don't know how you keep the CA numbers manageable. I mean, Yo's trying, honestly. Again, the Coustelier are pretty cheap. Get carrot, did he? Yes, he did! Well, there are neutral markets on this map, but I don't know if Yo's actually trading yet. Guys, Capoch has low-key lost 71 villagers. No, Chinese also don't get Parthian TikToks. Or Tic-Tacs. I mean, this is pretty wild. Yo getting all the rest of the eco upgrades here as well. Yeah, and come to markets. Going for the trade. Like, Yo did such a good job of only pushing out and just barely securing the resources when he needed to. I mean, it's still 70 CA, but no heavy Scav Archer. Versus all the CA. So long as all of the other Coustelier are active, then it's actually okay, as Yo is super far ahead in terms of eco. So Yo can afford to take slightly inefficient fights, so long as he's keeping his opponent's eco on the back foot. That said, the CA numbers are still very, very good. Guilds! Vineyards coming in. I mean, Yo's just getting all the units. And so far, neither player has teched into any other unit, right? It's just been CA. It's just been Coustelier. So we'll have to see what the next thing you go for is. I imagine Yo's going to start to mix in some skirmishers. Or some bombard cannons, or both. More vills are going to die here. There's HCA coming in. And at the very least, the Coustelier with their charge attack are able to, you know, do some damage, kill a few units, and then retreat again. Yo's game? Well, I mean, he does have a 2,000 score lead. And a 60 population lead. Yeah, this is honestly so insanely well played by Yo. Even got Hoardings in on the castle, more elite Fusilier. There's Chemistry coming in. I do think Chemistry probably should have come in a bit sooner, so I can start to mix in some Bombard Cannons, but the whole way that Yo's been playing this has been just trying to spread out the Cav Archer player. As the Cav Archers obviously need to stay in a big ball to be most effective, whereas the Fusilier can just kind of run around and get damage done. And the defense from Yo has just been so freaking good. I mean, good reaction time there from Yo. Those Vills are going to have a really bad day. Or not. Never mind. Awkward! Competing with Cookout. Well, I don't think Dave hosted the tournament, did he? I mean, it's a lot of Cav Archers still, and they are almost fully upgraded. They're just missing Leather Archer Armor and Ring Archer Armor. Is Dave hosting it? Or is he just casting it? Anyway. CA still have to be super careful. The castles do have full attack upgrades. Oh, well, good for him. He doesn't really host that much. "61 armies, 60 villagers." I mean, to be fair, Capoch is on 5 TCs. A couple weeks ago? Ah, okay. I mean, Yo doesn't really have that many units left, and I really wouldn't hate to see a bit of a skirmisher switch come in. But Yo is going to be able to replenish his lost forces so much more easily than his opponent, although he's not doing that right now, which is really confusing. Treadmill Crane. Yes, that is what he needed above all else. Treadmill Crane. Establish cast to make Viper's next career. Exactly. The revolution? I don't know about that. Trade carts don't revolt over. It's been a bit of an odd game, and it just goes to show how strong a blob of Cav Archers is, and yet Yo is still just grinding it down. I mean, Capoch is out of gold at this point. He is not set trade up. There's a little bit of gold left over there, but there can't be that much more on the map. Just kidding, there's 11,000 on the map. This map has a lot of gold on it. Yeah, Yo's going to be back up to max pop in just a moment. A little slower. They need to be faster than Knights. I think that's important for the unit's balance. And they are only barely faster than Knights. Right, they're 0.05 faster. You're just getting more upgrades because why not? Warg Alley. Anyway, 3 trebs here. Nice of Capoch to be able to start to mass up those. And Yo's on 152 vills, so obviously a little too much. Well, again, Burgundians don't have heavy Scorpions, so I think this is just where you go Skirmisher. I don't even know how I would nerf Cav Archers. Personally, I'd make them a little bit more expensive, if anything. Back to AOC levels. Well, Yo does lose a castle, which is a little bit of the S word, but he's going to build another one on the other side of the river. Yeah, Yo just needs to keep on trading his army against his opponent. And you've lost many, many more vills again. There are 5 castles from which to produce your unique unit as Yo, who's apparently decided to win this game by only making his unique unit and nothing else. Like, seriously, he hasn't even made any traps. So he's probably just doing this for the streaming content. Yeah, Yo's definitely... Like, Yo is not playing this like it's a, you know, super huge, serious tournament match. Which he doesn't need to, so I guess that's fine. Well, because to effectively kill the CA, Yo would need another unit. Okay, now he's, I guess, going to go Galleon. Some button to convert. Well, I think the whole point of it was to have the huge all-in switch, which I, again, think is poor design. Anyway, GG is called. Yep. Yo made 225 Custelier, 4 monks, and converted 2 Cav Archers. Yeah, I think Capoch realized he had no route to victory in this one. Yo, way too far ahead of Nico. Yeah, that was... Like I said, though, I don't want this to take away just how insane of a game this was from Yo. It's actually crazy that he was able to win this game, considering his terrible position early on. Remember, Capoch was ahead in eco. $40 APM? Yep, 60. 60 to 70. I mean, Yo is one of the slowest pro players. Anyway, Yo gets that dub. And we'll be taking the series 3-0. The polo players. The Custelier do kind of look like polo players. Anyway, guys, there is the hyper random thing going on. I am going to be done for today. I throw you over to Dave, who's casting it. And I apparently hosting it. But I will be back tomorrow for more of this tournament. Sebastian versus Vivi is at 9 my time, so an hour later than today, and then maybe they'll start the quarterfinals as well. But thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you had a good time. Whoops. Nope. Nope. That's the wrong one. Wait, which one's Dave? Oh, it's Dave underscore AoE. Oh, my goodness. There we go.